Hey everyone, it's Shayna back with another video. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new, please press the red subscribe button and give a big thumbs up and comment away. Keep it nice. Okay, today is a different type of video. It's a bit more personal and I'm ready. So I've been getting these questions a lot, and although like a lot of my life is quite private, a lot of it is also very public, and I enjoy sharing like my travels and my dance journeys with you. So it's fair enough that you guys have a lot of questions about my background and the way I grew up. So I asked a bunch of you on Instagram, so I'm just going to be responding straight questions from there. Was it hard moving away from your family's religion, rules, or way of life? Okay, I need a bit of background. I come from a very religious Jewish family. From Melbourne, Australia. Like, my Jewish heritage is very, very prominent. Like, I come from a very respected type of family in the Jewish community, and the way I live my life is a little different. That's the background. So was it hard to move away from my family's religion, rule, or way of life? Look, the way I see it is, I have never moved away from it. Like, I feel like it's just a process of me being curious, exploring the world, but like, my connection is very strong with the way I grew up. I am very proud of my religion and my heritage. I don't feel like I moved away. Like, I feel one with it, even though I don't necessarily like follow everything. Do I feel guilty about my lost past? I don't have much guilt at all. This is gonna be an interesting video. A lost past. I don't feel like my past is lost. Like, I had a really great childhood. I grew up in a really stable home, and like everything was very clear, and I really appreciated that. Like, especially looking back. Does your family support you? That is a good question. I do come from a very big family, and there is lots of love to go around, and at the same time, like the people in my family that are closer to my age are a bit more supportive because I'm more open to them about my decisions, my struggles, my goals. Like, the siblings that are close in age with, like, that's the types of stuff I discuss with them. So it's a lot easier to be supportive when you have that relationship and you understand both sides. Whereas with my parents, they love me and want the best for me, but our relationship isn't as open. Like, I don't share everything with them because I feel like I am keeping them safe. It's very naive. I feel like a lot of people in a similar situation than me, like even conversations I've had, they always like want to protect their parents, and like, because yeah, I hope I answered that right. How is the change from going in the direction of marriage, family, to independence and freedom? That is a really, really good one. That's something I can talk about. Okay, so there's two directions. There's marriage and family versus independence and freedom. So obviously they can intermingle. Like, you can be married and free, or free and lonely, and there's so many assets. So like, what I'm trying to say is that it's not necessarily one or the other, but the reason I chose freedom and independence is just a personal choice. Like, a lot of my friends and siblings are so happily married and living very free and amazing lives. I really respect those choices. Like, I really respect getting married young and growing together. Like, it's a beautiful part of my culture that I really admire. So just because I didn't choose that path, or just because I didn't go down that way, doesn't mean I don't like it. I really, really like it, and I really see the value in growing altogether, but I don't, just wasn't for me. I wasn't ready. I could be 30 and still not be ready. Like, that's just personal. It's not against marriage in general. It's just me, I wasn't ready. So, next question. How do you feel about people from my past judging you for your content, to brackets dancing / bikinis? So, I never cared about much growing up. I was pretty apathetic. I don't know where that came from. I think it's like it gave me the strength to do what I wanted, because I kind of always wanted to do what I wanted. And growing up in like the type of community I did, if you care, yeah, you can't do what you want. Like, I never really cared, and growing up it was more apathy and like disrespectful, and I kind of learned how to take that and channel it into growing myself and not worrying what other people thought. Like, I was never one to care about trends and the best clothes or the bad. I didn't care for like fitting in. I didn't, like, I love to be different. So I didn't really care what people judge. Like, it's never something I've cared about. And I can't tell you to do the same, because that's just part of my personality. It comes very naturally to me. Like, I don't care. You can't hurt me. It's like this physical, it's like, I'm not saying it's a good thing. Like, it's got its own pros and cons, but for me, that's never really something that I've cared about. I do things because I love them. I try to be as respectful as I can, so I don't walk around in provocative ways, or like if I'm from a certain type of community, I try to respect it when I'm there. But my Instagram, I feel like is my property. Like, I'm not putting in anyone's face. It's your choice to follow me or not. I'm very honest and open, and yeah, I don't really care about judgment. So I hope that answered it. Jewish and Dominican mix would be love heart. Who knows? Maybe. Are you still religious, or have you taken a step down, and how do your parents feel? Okay, it's a good question, because like, I kind of feel religious. Like, I feel connected, and I think that's what a lot of religion is being connected. And I definitely feel that more on a spiritual level than on a like physical level. So religion is mostly like following the rules or the guidelines. So I don't necessarily keep a lot of those, but I keep enough of them to feel connected, sometimes more than others. My parents feel. Honestly, I never asked them. When was the point in your life that made you realize you want to live your life differently than how you were raised? That never really happened to me. I never like reached a point like, this is not for me. It was always just like a gradual process of like doing things because I do things, and then analyzing why do I do them, and then making choices. So I would say it's pretty gradual, and it's never really like a turning point. How was it to live in the Dominican Republic without any Jewishness? So it is very different, like, to be Jewish in a Jewish environment. So often when I travel, I would always find somewhere to be for Shabbat. And I love to be around that type of community. It made me feel at home. But the Dominican Republic didn't really have that. So that was less easy. And for the high holidays, I did go to Santo Domingo, the main city, and celebrated with Chabad. They were really hospitable, and I felt at home, but like, it's hard when you're not with your friends and family on these days. Like, I felt a bit more disconnected than I would have liked. What do you feel towards your religion? I feel love and connection. I've used that word a lot. I feel very connected. Like, I like when you can walk into a room and you just feel like you're one. Like, we're on the same page. We have the same history. We have the same stories. We have similar childhoods. Like, I'm not saying a person that doesn't share that I can't have a deeper, meaningful connection with. I'm just saying it's very nice to be part of something bigger than yourself. I love the history. I love the culture. I love everything about being Jewish. I'm just not on the outside as Jewish as the paper cut looks like. But I try, and I have my own journeys. Have you ever wished sometimes you were born into a different reality and had a different childhood, a more secular one that fits your life? I have dreamed about being in another background, but the older I get, the more I realize that I am the person I am today because of the way I was raised and the childhood I had, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Like, I really value the fact that I was brought up with such clear values, and it really shaped me into the person today. Like, I know if I would have been brought up on iffy wiffies, or like, this is okay, this is cool, like even the way that I try to define my morals today, like from day-to-day life, if something's iffy, like, it's confusing for me. I need to know if it's right or if it's wrong, and from there I can make my decision. And it doesn't mean I make always the right decision, but I really value that, the way I was brought up. I don't know, like, I do remember being very sheltered, and I really appreciate that, because when I'm not sheltered as an adult right now, so much more stuff happens in the brain, like insecurities and comparing, and it becomes a lot more grey. And I remember being so black and white, and it was so lovely to be there. So like, I'm not wishing I was still there or wishing I had something different, but like, I really value that place that I was at and that way that I was brought up. How you find yourself in the context of your upbringing. Okay, this is interesting. I'm still finding. Like, I don't think I don't really believe in like finding yourself. I believe in constant growth and constant pursuit of happiness and pursuit of something bigger than yourself. And it's a process, and it's choices, and where in my religion, that's the whole reason why we are on this earth, is because we are humans and we have free choice. So embrace that, study it, learn it. If you are interested in it, embrace it. You don't, like, I don't know. I hope I'm answering these questions right. I could talk a lot about this topic, but I hope I answered your questions, and thank you for providing them with me. Also, comment below what you want to see in a new video, and yeah, I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Ciao.